I wanted a test, and a test is what I got. The thing I love most about the mountains, other than their beauty and their savagery, is that they just don't care about you, and every now and then they remind you of that fact. The mountains make us feel totally insignificant and remind us that Mother Nature is boss. This weekend I came to Scotland for the Ben Nevis Skyline, and it was exactly what I hoped it would be, and more. Don't you just love that feeling when after months of training, the race weekend is finally here? I flew up to Glasgow, met up with my friend Tom, and we drove up into the Highlands and then sat down with a beer to chat race tactics. The Ben Nevis Skyline is an absolutely savage 29-kilometre route in the Scottish Highlands, summiting Ben Nevis and including 1800 metres of elevation. But that really isn't the story. The story is just how savage and epically beautiful these mountains are. We settled into Fort William and then we did a shakeout run on the Friday to get our bearings, and then it was on to the race. All I had to do was register. Fuck! I forgot my ID. I've got to run back to the car and get it. A little 2k warm up. Idiot. 48, Chris Bryant. Finally made it to the start and the tension was building in the air.
3, 2, 1, go!
We left the Nevis Range on a forestry track, and the first few kilometres were quite runnable. The path was nice and wide, so we found that before we hit the steeper single track trail, we had found our tribe and were nestled in amongst runners that were our sort of pace. Crossing the steps at the top of the forestry track suddenly felt like we were getting what we came for. After a beautiful climb under the imposing peaks, we met up with the tourist path which would eventually take us to the summit of Ben Nevis. I think we're near the summit, up in the clouds. Summit of the Ben.
Well done, Chris, you're doing really well.
Enjoying it.
Okay, mate.
Cheers,
yeah.
boys. Yeah. Summit of the Ben. After summiting Ben Nevis and crossing the flat top covered in big stones, we then had to descend a long boulder field. I didn't film most of it because I didn't want to be that idiot YouTuber who fell while filming himself, but it was steep, it was wet, it was slippery, and it was cold. So slippery. This took us to the CMD Arete, a mind-blowingly stunning ridge between Ben Nevis and the CMD, involving grade 1 scrambling and at times some fairly hefty exposure that tests your mettle. The ridge demanded 100% of your concentration. It was tough on the body but just as tough on the mind. And then we had one more steep climb to the top of Carn Mór Gerach. Cheers, mate.
Doing great, guys.
Cheers,
guys.
guys.
Watch out for slipping.
We came down from the CMD into a valley of pure bog. I didn't take enough footage to show you this, but this was some of the toughest running I've ever done. Every single step twisted your ankles and knees, you were submerged in mud and water, and by this point we were being hit with an icy cold wind with -2 degrees wind chill factor. The bog seemed never ending, and you just had to take it one step at a time, hoping that you'd get to the end soon. I look pretty grumpy here, but in a weird way, I was loving it. This was pure Scotland. Harsh, rugged, but there was an underlying beauty amongst it all. Finally, I could see the gondola up ahead, and I knew that that was the start of a 7-kilometre downhill track down a mountain bike route. Nice trail, banked corners, and if you still had the legs for it, you could fly down. And thankfully, I still had the legs for it. After the harshest running I've ever done, this was some of the most fun running I've ever done. So much fun! Oh. This is such a gift. I haven't stopped smiling. With each winding corner, you could feel the wind dropping and the temperature rising, and depending on which way you were facing, you could even hear the castle bells at the finish line. I was starting to reflect on what an epic day it had been. I was feeling battered, but I was grateful to have got through it in one piece. Not much further now, one foot in front of the other, and all I had to do was cross that finish line and collect my medal. But this was a harsh lesson that you can never count your chickens. So that was an embarrassing finish line. Literally on the finish line rolled my ankle really bad. I'm hoping there's a funny photo of me somewhere, but I've been chatting to the medics and we think I've broken my 5th metatarsal, so we will see. Really annoying way to finish such a brilliant race. I'm going to debrief later because I need some food. Oh, goddamn. Oh, that's not the ending I wanted. Oh, my foot. I think I've broken my 5th metatarsal, so I've just come back for a shower, just in case they put a cast on it. I don't want to have a really horrible smelly foot to begin with, so I'm just going to have a shower and then go to Scottish A&E, see what that's like. I can feel my brain literally going through the stages of grief, I was angry and annoyed, and then I was like, denying it. And I think I'm just trying to fast track my way to acceptance. It could have been a lot worse. It could have been a worse injury. It could have been up the mountain. That was savage. So the fact that it happened at the end where I'm safe and I can just get in a car and go to hospital, that's definitely a silver lining. So I will update you from the hospital. The team in the Fort William A&E were absolutely top notch. I was in and out in 2 hours, and yep, it was a fractured 5th met. So I'll be forced into a little bit more rest than I was anticipating, and that's not the end of the world. I still managed to have the best pizza I've ever had in my whole life with haggis on it the next day, and things really could be an awful lot worse. The boot and the crutches, they're helping me get around. I made it home no problems, and I'll be making some videos soon about how I'm going to be approaching my rehab. Scotland, you are epic, you are savage, you are beautiful, you are everything I wanted, and I can't wait to be back.